Welcome back to Stingy's Traeger Tabletop. This is Stingy, and on the table is my Beretta PX4, the C model, chambered in 9mm. Currently this pistol is serving as my nightstand gun. Before we go any further, let's just do a quick safety check. No magazine, and nothing in the chamber. Okay. Now, serving as my nightstand gun, what's missing on it is a pistol light. So, recently I went shopping on Amazon and picked up an AIM Sports pistol light. Currently it's the fall of 2012, and I believe you can pick these up on Amazon somewhere between $30 to $35. So let's just break into the packaging and see what it comes with. Get this pistol light in this bubble wrap, and it does come with a CR123 lithium battery already in it, and you can see the beam is actually pretty clean for what it is, and according to this is 150 lumens. I do not have a light meter, so I really can't test it to see if it's really 150 lumens, but it's bright enough for what I need it for. Also, it looks like it comes with, and this is kind of interesting, some filters. There's a blue one, red, and this is either yellow or orange kind of filter. I have not tried any of these, and I do remember seeing some complaints on Amazon that people said, it comes with all these filters, however there's really no instructions on how to really put these on, and I'll show you how to do this in a minute. I kind of figured it out on my own. And also it comes with this additional rubber seal ring, which I think is kind of optimistic, because it kind of makes you think that this must be waterproof, right? And it comes with this, and there's a replacement for the one that's already in there, and I'll show you why I think this is kind of optimistic, because I don't believe this is at all waterproof to any degree, because if you should happen to drop this in a puddle, or or even if you're out in the rain, this will be inundated with water rather quickly, and you'll see why in a minute. Anyways, that's pretty much what you'll get. It's this plain box, pistol light, and the battery that's already in there, and this set of 3 filters with an additional rubber seal. So it's pretty good for $30 to $35. Now, my problem with this particular pistol light, however, I bought it for my PX4, and actually I can't entirely fault the pistol light. The Beretta PX4 design is rather organic, so there's a lot of curves and places where most other guns just do not have, and my biggest problem with it is right about here, and you'll see why. And this is what happens when I mount this. It cannot seat far enough behind because, well, this part is blocking this recessed area here in the pistol light, and it will not engage this notch. Now, I did some measuring, and I did notice that if these fins, or I don't know what you would call this additional aluminum back here, which I don't understand why it's even there. I guess in most other guns or pistols, this would just fit over the trigger guard like this, and it's not really a problem. If these were not actually there, this will engage. It's only barely, slightly off of here. So if I were to remove these, this will mount onto the Beretta PX4. So this is partly what this video is also about, is how to modify this AIM Sport so that it will fit the Beretta PX4 or any other pistol that is relatively organic, and this part is kind of large, and and you don't have a long enough accessory rail here that this will fully mount all the way. So what I decided to do is I want to cut off these additional, or this excess aluminum here that's supposed to go over the trigger guard, which I really don't need, and see if it fits. And from what I've measured, it should. So okay, before we start modifying this particular pistol light, we have to take this apart so that metal shaving and dust don't get into any of the sensitive electronics. So first, let's take out the battery by spinning off the flashlight head right here. And we should remove this back plate, and you see that there's these two divots here. And I found the best way to remove this is if you have a set of needle nose pliers like this, you can engage those divots like so, and press down on it and turn like that. Once it's loose enough, you might be able to do this just with your hands, but there we go. Okay, and this is the part where I said that earlier I think is a little bit optimistic, thinking that this would be waterproof in any way. As you can see, once I spun this off, there's really nothing back here to seal off this area here, and this is connected to the top here where your actuation switch is. So if water gets in this area, it'll pretty much flow right into here without any obstacle in its way, and your battery and everything else inside will be inundated with water, and that's not good. But like you said, this is going to be in my nightstand gun. It's not for any type of tactical shooting, so it's not going to be I'm not going to be doing too much running and gunning with it, especially not out in the rain, and especially not with this particular pistol light. Also, we need to remove this, and this part is actually plastic, by the way. This plastic cover which holds down your actuation switch right here, and you should be careful when you remove this, because, and I'll show you in a minute, once you remove that, there are a couple of springs and ball bearings on each side here that basically acts as your detent. That gives you this. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove that. So you want to apply pressure down here as you're removing this. So your springs don't go flying. Once those are off, just gently lift this up and set these aside. Make sure you don't lose these tiny screws. And if you look closely in there, in these area, you'll see the little ball bearing, and those are riding on top of a couple of very small spring. And if you're not careful, those will come flying out and you will lose them, and you will lose that detent. So let's just be very careful and tap them out. So there you go. You see, they're pretty tiny. And what we want to do is find something to put this in. Let's just throw it back in the bubble wrap. Okay, I'll fish those out of there later. Okay, and once those are removed, you'll see the switch. And again, all this is, this is just basically held in place with this screwed in, and you can see there's really nothing here that prevents water from just flowing right on in and inundating the it enters with, well, water. So I think those gasket, I guess it's good to keep dust out, but pretty much that's pretty much all you're going to keep out. Now, next step is we're going to mask off areas that we're not going to cut into, and also, and that'll prevent some of the aluminum filings and dust from getting into areas that we don't want it to get into. So let's get some masking tape. Okay, and I think that's about good. And now all I have to do is just go down to the shop, take a Dremel, and just cut these additional aluminum, again, at least I don't know what you call it, the trigger guard, fins or whatever, off of here, and this should seat all the way back on the Beretta PX4, and it should mount. So give me a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, just got back from the shop after cutting off the excess aluminum on the back of the pistol light, those fins which prevented this from seating fully on the pistol. And before we go through the trouble of putting this all back together, let's make sure it fits. So let's take the Beretta PX4. So there you go, and you'll notice that it does clear this pretty well. And after I initially cut the fins, I noticed that it was pretty sharp up here, so I went ahead and cut a 45 degrees angle on this part as well to round it out a little bit. And as you can see, it fits pretty nice, and there's a little bit of play back and forth, but I don't believe that will be very significant in terms of how this will function with the pistol. And we will take this to the range with the light and test that out and get some videos of that. Now here you'll notice that there is some marring over here, and the reason why is when I first got this and I put this on the pistol, I noticed that there were a lot of play side to side, so this was just too wide. So I pretty much just put this on a vise and just clamped it down a little bit more, and now it fits nice and snug. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put this all back together, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back from reassembling the pistol light, and just to make sure that everything still worked, let's go ahead and put it on the pistol. So there you go. It snaps in and it clears the front of the trigger guard. And let's just test the light's functionality. Yep, that still works. So nothing was damaged with the electronics. And I know I cut this stuff off, and now it's kind of this brushed aluminum on the back here, and it's not black. I'm not too worried about it. Later on I'll probably just get some aluminide and just spray it on, and it's fixed. So I'm not going to worry about what it looks like right now. And also earlier I also mentioned something about the filters, and on the site there were some people that were complaining about there were no instructions on how to place or mount these filters on here and to really use them. Now I'm not, I don't see myself actually ever really need to use any of these filters, but just for the heck of it, I went ahead and figured out how to do that. And what it is this crenulated bezel here does spin off, and that's where your filter will go. And it just basically you just replace the actually these are plastic, by the way. Just replace the lens with the filters. So, and I found the best way to spin this off, and these are actually pretty tight, is just to get a piece of cardboard like this and just jam it into here instead of your soft pink skin and twist. And once you get to a certain point, it'll be loose enough that you can just spin it off with your hands. Okay. Okay, once you have it open, be careful not to get any dust or debris in there onto the reflector or onto the lens. But you can see that there's a lens in here, and basically you just pop this lens out. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to get my fingerprints in there. You just pop the lens out and you just replace it with one of these filters, and you just spin it back on and you're good to go. And once you get to a certain point and it's kind of hard to grip onto this, there's really nothing here for your finger to purchase on to really spin this. Again, that's where the cardboard comes in handy. And again, you just jam it in there and you just spin it until it stops. And remember, the lens is plastic, so don't over tighten, otherwise you are likely to crack the lens. Okay? Alright, so it's back on, and let's take this to range and test how it functions with the pistol. Okay, so there you have it. That is the AIM Sports 150 lumens pistol light modified for the Beretta PX4. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and projects. And again, we're just a couple of city slickers working this out as we go along.